It's funny how I just watched a little um, short piece of a presentation by the actor Mel Gibson. Most people know Mel Gibson. I what is it? Do or Die? Those movies that they made. I'll never forget the one. I think his buddy was sitting on a toilet and the house blew up or something. But I do remember him mostly from that movie called Mad Max. That was a very powerful movie, and that tied directly into all the movies actually intertie with them, and it's one of the reasons why I've tried to remain neutral and remember that from an organizational point of view, okay, in other words, the organizational structure that we find ourselves in a planetary consciousness terrain, right? And he talked about it as well, and most of us do, knowing the difference between what sanity is, what it means to have a state of mind that's in a state of peace, right? And then knowing what a psychopathway is, or a psycho, which means strictly mental. And so a psychopathway does not have a conscience. In other words, it doesn't consider the results in the use of its own energy to experience what it experienced next, by knowing that what the result is going to be. Because if you are what love is and you're experiencing what love is and love does no harm, then the next event, which is the use of your energy, which is what love is, will not experience any harm. That's the genius in that. It's the genius built into the law of least effort. So you realize, like I did as a child, right? And you're reading the terrain, it's very difficult to know who's who, right? Because it's the invisible landscape, which means it's spirit. It's a spiritual warfare. So it doesn't have anything to do with what you look like. So it's just like myself. I worked for a number of these organizations that were criminal cabal. They were made to self-destruct because what it is they do is self-destructive. So you're participating in something that you already know is self-destructive. Okay, because it's not hard when you have a higher state of awareness to know the direction that the structure that you're in, which is organizational, which is military and hierarchy, which just means that the few at the top are controlling everything that's happening below them, using technology and alien machinery in which to get it done. Those that are aware of how the inversion is related to what they experience is why, at least as a child, I had a different way to put it, where everything is asked backwards, which means they're deconstructing something that's already there, which is creation, trying to figure out how to get back to where it began, because it began with what love is. And so they can't find their way out of the maze from which they created in their own mind, that they can't get out of by the complexity and the use of technology in which they found themselves. You see how that works? And that's why when Yellow Rose mentioned we never needed technology, that's right. It was the complexity of the technology to try and escape the accountability for which we're going to be held as a result of the way that the math works. And that's why you can know, because you're a built-in mathematician, at least doing simple arithmetic, okay, that the way that the numbers don't add up, because the energy doesn't add up, because the energy is not balanced. See, so this is what gave, rise to the whole thing, is that you have the loonies. Remember Warner Brothers, Looney Tunes? What's up, Doc? With Elmer Fudd and all the rest of it. So they're presenting to us beings that have lost their mind, wanting to control those that still have theirs in hand. Which means they haven't lost their head, they haven't lost their mind, they haven't lost their heart and soul. They're still connected to the source from which it all comes, which is a God speed vibration, fused with a goddess. Now you're one. Because there isn't any separation between what you are as a male seed, wanting to grow a universe by planting them, upon which you now see what grows as a result therein, of running on eternal love, mated with a goddess. Let's go. So now you're using love as the engine. Full steam ahead, right? Full steam ahead, just like steam engines. We're the locomotives, loco and motive, logos in motion, logos in motion. We're going in logos motion with mama. Okay? That's called the motherverse, the fatherverse and the motherverse. That's aloha, living spirit. The breath of living spirit into the inhalation, right? Blowing out. She's blowing in, accepting the spirit, right? Now we're into essences. Now we're into spirit, the essence of the spirit, right? And that's why the essence is what drives them. That's the adrenochrome stuff. That's the voltage side of stuff. But it's also where the spirits are eaten, which means the essence. The prize is the spirit. The soul is food, but it is the spirit that protects the soul because the spirit is in the energy. So it is the energy which represents the spiral shield. The highest consciousness is cosmic. Cosmic. The microphone of eternal light. The first sound magicians. Yep.